Friends, today I want to talk to you about something that has the power to transform your life, not just for a moment, not just for a season, but forever. There are words that inspire, and then there are words that ignite. And today, my words are meant to set a fire in your heart, a fire of purpose, a fire of wisdom, a fire of change. Now, if you're here, it's because something in you is searching. Maybe you felt stuck. Maybe you've asked yourself, is this all there is? Maybe you've tried and failed so many times that you've started to believe change isn't possible. But hear me today, your life is not over. Your best days are not behind you. Change is still possible. The mind is the battlefield where every great victory or defeat takes place, long before it is ever seen in the physical world. The thoughts you entertain, the beliefs you hold, and the words you speak to yourself shape the reality you live in. Many people go through life believing that external circumstances dictate their success or failure, but the truth is that everything begins internally. What you feed your mind will determine the kind of life you live. If you allow doubt, fear, and negativity to take root, you will see those things manifest in your actions and ultimately your outcomes. However, if you choose to fill your mind with strength, wisdom, and confidence, you will walk a different path, one that leads to growth, success, and purpose. Your thoughts are not insignificant. Every action, whether good or bad, starts as a thought. The people who achieve great things are not necessarily the strongest, the smartest, or the most privileged. They are the ones who have mastered the art of directing their thoughts toward possibility instead of limitation. They have trained their minds to see opportunities where others see obstacles. They have conditioned themselves to find solutions rather than excuses. They understand that the way they think determines how they feel, and how they feel determines how they act. Many people live trapped in a cycle of negativity because they have allowed destructive thoughts to shape their identity. They say things like, I'm not good enough, I'll never succeed, or this is just the way I am. These are not just words, they are chains that keep them bound. The moment you accept a negative thought as truth, it becomes a part of you. It influences your decisions, your actions, and even the way others perceive you. That is why it is so important to guard your mind with the same vigilance you would guard your most valuable possession. If you allow yourself to dwell on failure, you will begin to act like a failure. If you focus on your weaknesses, they will grow stronger in your mind. If you constantly replay past mistakes, you will never have the confidence to move forward. But the good news is that just as you can train your body to become stronger, you can train your mind to become more disciplined, focused, and resilient. It starts with recognizing the power of your thoughts and taking responsibility for them. You do not have to accept every thought that enters your mind. You have the authority to reject what is harmful and to cultivate what is beneficial. People often underestimate the effect of their inner dialogue. The way you speak to yourself in private moments is shaping your destiny more than any outside influence ever could. If you constantly criticize yourself, belittle your efforts, or expect failure, you are programming your mind to bring those things into reality. But if you make a conscious effort to speak life over yourself, to affirm your strengths, to remind yourself of your potential, and to reject thoughts of defeat, you will begin to see a change in the way you approach challenges. There are countless stories of individuals who have overcome impossible odds simply because they refused to let their minds accept defeat. They faced rejection, hardship, and failure, yet they pressed on because they had trained themselves to believe that every setback was temporary, that every obstacle was an opportunity, and that their thoughts had the power to shape their future. If they had allowed doubt to dominate their minds, they would have never reached their full potential. The world is full of distractions, negativity, and influences that can poison your thinking if you are not careful. Social media, news, and the opinions of others can plant seeds of insecurity, fear, and discouragement. That is why it is critical to be intentional about what you expose your mind to. Surround yourself with wisdom, with knowledge, with words that uplift and challenge you to grow. Read books that expand your understanding, listen to voices that inspire you, and remove anything that feeds doubt and insecurity. Every great achievement begins with a single thought. Every revolution, every breakthrough, every moment of triumph starts in the mind of someone who dared to believe that change was possible. If you want to change your life, change the way you think. If you want to achieve greatness, start by mastering your thoughts. It is not about ignoring reality or pretending challenges do not exist. It is about training your mind to see beyond obstacles, to believe in possibilities, and to act with faith even in the face of uncertainty. You have the power to shape your future, but it begins with what you allow to take root in your mind. The battlefield is not the world around you, it is the space between your ears. If you win there, you will win. People often believe that transformation comes from a single life-changing moment, a grand event that shifts everything at once. They wait for the perfect opportunity, the right timing, or a sign that tells them it's time to change. But the truth is, life is not transformed by big dramatic moments. It is shaped by the small, seemingly insignificant choices we make every single day. The direction of your life is not determined by one major decision, but by the thousands of little decisions you make in your daily routine. The person who succeeds and the person who fails are not separated by one defining moment. They are separated by their daily habits, their consistent choices, and the way they approach each day. The things you do repeatedly will become the foundation of your life. Whether you succeed or struggle, whether you grow or remain stagnant, is a direct result of the choices you make on a daily basis. Success is not a mystery. It is not something reserved for the lucky or the talented. It is a habit. It is the result of small, intentional decisions that compound over time. If you want to change your life, you don't need a grand plan. You don't need to overhaul everything in a single day. You need to start with one small change, and then another, and then another. One healthy meal leads to another. One workout turns into a habit. One act of discipline strengthens your ability to make more disciplined choices. It is not about perfection. It is about consistency. The person who exercises 3 times a week for years will always be healthier than the person who works out intensely for a month and then quits. The person who reads a little every day will accumulate more knowledge than the person who crams for a few weeks and then stops. The small things add up. There are 2 types of people, those who understand the power of small decisions and those who ignore them. The first group sees the value in taking small steps forward. They know that every choice, no matter how small, is shaping their future. They wake up and choose to be disciplined even when they don't feel like it. They choose to invest in themselves, to develop their skills, to take care of their bodies, to strengthen their minds. Over time, these choices create momentum, and that momentum leads them to a completely different life. The second group believes that small choices don't matter. They think skipping a workout today won't make a difference. They believe watching 1 more hour of TV instead of working on their goals won't affect their future. They assume that a little bit of procrastination, a little bit of laziness, and a little bit of indulgence won't hurt them, but what they don't realize is that small decisions don't just add up, they multiply. Bad habits, just like good ones, grow stronger with repetition. The more you choose comfort over discipline, the harder it becomes to change. The more you choose distraction over focus, the more your mind becomes conditioned to avoid effort. One bad decision leads to another until before you know it, years have passed and nothing has changed. The difference between success and failure is not found in talent, luck, or intelligence. It is found in the daily choices people make. The most successful individuals in any field are not always the smartest or the most gifted. They are simply the ones who have developed the discipline to make the right choices consistently. They wake up early when others sleep in. They read and learn when others waste time. They work on their craft when others make excuses. They push forward when others give up. Over time, these small choices create a gap so wide that it is impossible to ignore. Many people wait for motivation to push them into action. They wait until they feel ready. But motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like the wind. If you depend on motivation, you will never be consistent. The most successful people don't rely on motivation, they rely on discipline. They understand that the choices they make today will shape their future, whether they feel like making them or not. They know that every decision, no matter how small, is either taking them closer to their goals or further away from them. There is no such thing as a neutral decision. Every choice you make is moving you in a direction. The question is, which direction are you moving in? Every time you choose to learn instead of waste time, you are building your future. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you are becoming stronger. Every time you take a small step forward, you are changing the trajectory of your life. It may not seem like much in the moment, but over time, those small steps turn into a massive transformation.